Saquon Barkley, top 10 all-time fantasy football running back. Well, top 10 all-time NFL running back game. This guy just dropped on Fantasy Football Worlds and the NFL world. 255 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. 302 total yards. Saquon Barkley is him. Saquon Barkley, dare I go back and find what list might he be on?
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars man.
Look at now. There are some negatives on this list.
Loads dropping, spinning aimlessly in space.
This is a pretty damn good list. Jacob's proving this list so proud. Saquon Barkley exploding in this contest. 302 yards and 2 touchdowns is wild. Absolute wild. Somebody said he broke fantasy in the comments. He absolutely did. We'll be breaking down this as well as the Week 13 Waiver Wire episode here. We'll break down. We'll change this 12 to a 13, and we're going to do this live together. That's how we do the Waiver Wire show. Some people don't do it that way. Some people just come out and give you a little Waiver Wire taste, and your boy Smitty likes to do it live. I like to adjust it, add to it live in front of you. I open the phone line. I get a couple people on the phone line like Travis, and we start picking apart last week's Waiver Wire, see who we got to take off, see who we got to add, and manipulate it live in front of you so you understand the thinking behind the actual ranking list, the fantasy football show, the Saquon Barkley celebration show. Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Where do we rank him in 2025 redraft? Dynasty is a whole different monster, and we'll definitely attack that on the Dynasty channel really soon. But where do we rank? Is he number one? Number one? He's got at least one year left, right? Number one overall? Is he the number one, clear-cut number one overall pick in 2025 redraft? I think the consensus will be yes. I think anybody that says no they don't own him, or they're upset about this situation. It's number one. You're drafting today for 2025. Let's pretend you're drafting with your buddies. You're a bunch of anxious Anguses, and you're like, let's just do a new draft for 2025. We can't use him until 2025, but let's do a little draft. He goes one. He goes one overall. What a day. What a day. Now, I don't want to act like there wasn't some other good production that occurred in this contest. Let me put up. Kyren had a decent day, but he fumbled twice. I'm not worried about that. It's not like McVay's going to bench him or anything like that. He's an absolute monster. One of the fumbles they didn't even lose possession. He just dropped the ball. But Kyren started off hot, 72 yards, 4.5 a pop. Got some good yards per carry, 1 touchdown, and then it just kind of the game script got out of hand. But it's still a good day for Kyren. He still had a nice, some nice numbers. Stafford was 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 INTs. Puka Nacua, 117, 9 receptions. Cooper Kupp ended up pulling in a touchdown and 80 yards. You could call it garbage time, but, that's the nature of this offense. And when you draft Rams players, you expect to get some of this, like, high-octane tossing the football in the fourth quarter. That just comes with the territory of Ram players. So you can call this whatever you want, but this is not that crazy or unusual for these Rams receivers to get weird production other people can't count on from their wide receivers. Like, how many people can count on this kind of late production? It's kind of fun to own a player like Cooper Kupp that can do that in the final, drive or two. But 8 for 60 and a touch. Puka Nacua, 9 for 117, 0 TDs. Kupp is the touchdown guy. He is the red zone guy, as is DeMarcus Robinson, though. On the other side of the football, A.J. Brown had a day. A.J. Brown had 109 and a tutty. I'll throw that up on screen so you can gander at that beauty. This is A.J. Brown's stat line right here. 6 for 109 and a touchdown, 18 yards a clip. Saquon, you see what Saquon did. Jalen Hurts had 39 yards rushing, no rushing touchdowns, but 39 yards rushing, and then he had 179, a measly 179 and 1 through the air. So Hurts could have had a much better day. But that's what we're looking at here. Saquon is the man. What a day! 302 total yards and 2 scores. Unbelievable. Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, he just got the rain all over Bucky Irving Day. He had the rain on the parade of Jahmyr Gibbs and Devon Achane. These guys, we still were going to celebrate. Achane getting his 2 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs getting his 2 touchdowns. Kyren almost had a second touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, nice little day, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. But we were coming in here to maybe replicate some of the celebratory, notes that we had walking out of the afternoon show. But now we what are we going to do? Saquon Barkley just absolutely stole the show. So you keep saying Kyren has had. Let's see, what is it? What's this guy running his mouth about? Chip, all in capital letters. Capital Chip. You keep saying Kyren has had a good day. For 4 weeks, he isn't getting 12 points. Come on, take the hit, Smitty. Own it. Own what? That Kyren has more touchdowns than probably any of your running backs? Unless you took my advice, Chip, and you drafted Saquon Barkley? So what are you talking about? What's got you so hot and bothered? You got to type, Chip, in all capital letters about a monster named Kyren. Here, let me show you something, Chip. This one's for you.
He's Kyren.
Hey, Chip, I also wanted to tell you.
He's Kyren. He's 7
Hey,
feet
Chip,
tall,
guess who had a good day today?
and he knows how
Guess who had a good day today?
7 feet tall.
You gotta be kidding me, man. What is with the Kyren and Achane haters? They're a special breed. They're just a special kind of, I don't know. It's all capital letters. It's aggressive. It's so bent out of shape type of mentality. How you upset at Kyren? How you upset at Kyren? How you upset at me liking Kyren's touchdown, 70 yards? What's wrong with liking Kyren's 72 yards, 4.5 a clip, 1 touchdown? What's wrong with that? Is that a bad day to you? Or do you not start players that score over 10, 12, 13, 14 points, depending on your scoring format? I mean, it's unreal. It's unreal. Some people are just absolutely wild. I don't understand. Don't you dare say you're a Kyren. Look at this. Look at what he's trying to say now. Backpedal, Chippy. I'm not a hater. I love Kyren. No, you're not. You can't say that anymore. We're taking away your
Bijan card has been revoked.
taking away your Kyren card. I'm taking away everything. You can't come on and say that now. You just, in front of everybody, had a little bit of a tantrum in capital letters over me saying that Kyren had a good day. 70 yards and a touchdown. You threw a little pity patter, temper tantrum. And now you say you love Kyren. You wouldn't even open your mouth about Kyren if you liked Kyren. So here's this for you.
Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a big lap. Take one and you don't come back.
That's for you, bro. There you go. Let's move on to the waiver wire portion of this show. We're going to discuss all the players that might be available. Some leagues are going to have more availability than others. K9 Debo and JSN for Bijan. I think you got to take Bijan. Yeah, and this Waddle back, probably to a degree. We got to accept that. Got Tucker and 12-point lead versus Henry. Like the odds. Tucker and a 12-point lead. I suppose. Yeah, I'm sure it projects you to be a little bit ahead, but Smitty, last week I traded K9, Kyren, Hopkins for Saquon, Mike Evans, DJ Moore. I know it's a bit much, bro. No, it's not. It's not a bit much, especially after the points you just got alone. You know, guy wants to send me Dobbins, CMC, Dell for my Barkley ad. Just close the window. Here, send this to him at 9 minutes into the show.
You are off for sex. You are paid off for sex.
Can Can I have Chase, Barkley? Look at this. Look at this offer. This guy wants to send me Dobbins, CMC, and Dell for your Barkley, Jamar Chase, and Henry. He got greedy. He didn't even try and rip you off. He tried to rip you off 5 times. Achan, Jonu, Tua, and Waddle all erupted. Yes, sir. Rise above. Appreciate you. Nice job with the win, pal. You've been crushing it lately. Dropping the updates for us. Up 36 points. Opponent has Lamar, 4-point per passing TD chances. I hang on for the W. Up 36. It's close. I mean, it's close. All right. Thank you for those super chats. I'll swing back and answer any others that you guys dropped. I cleared the super chat docket. Now it's going over to the Waiver Wire show. Anybody else that drops a super chat, I'll get to it. Don't worry. Just hang tight. Here is the board for the Waiver Wire. I don't think I'm missing very many pieces. I may move it around live. Travis, you can call in if you want and help me with some of the percentages of ownership so we can make sure we don't have too many players on here that shouldn't be on here. Like Addison, for example, who cracked the list last week and was available, I think, in like 40% plus of leagues. Did that change enough, Travis, that we have to rip Addison off this board? What's the
so he's a bit in terms of, do you want me to just go Yahoo for now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Quickest one I can.
Yeah.
All right. So right now he's available in 32%.
That's enough.
Still, after this week he'll probably fall off, but he's still there.
Yeah. So 32%. And can you look at Sleeper real quick and just see where his availability is there? So Addison, I put anybody on the board that's available in at least 30% of leagues.
In Sleeper, he's 22% available.
I'm not missing Vele. Open your eyes, Anthony. So you said 20 what?
In Sleeper, he's 22% available.
Okay, 22%. Yeah, so it's close enough. It's close enough. Smitty, you don't have Vele on there. Open your eyes. Open your eyes, Anthony. Open your eyes. I know you've been shocked by the Saquon Barkley touchdown fest and yardage fest. You're probably blinded by that glory. So just take a deep breath, breathe in and out, and look back at the board. So Addison's available in enough leagues, I think, to put him on here, but it's like close. We almost had to rip him off here, but he erupted.
This will be his last week.
He erupted for what was it, 100 and what was his total? It was 100 and let me see if I can find it. I got it over here somewhere.
I got it. 8 for 162 with a touchdown on 9 targets.
Yeah, right here. So Addison just erupted. So not going to help a lot of people because 30%. Yeah, so, I mean, geez, man. 162 and a touch, that's crazy. What are you running your mouth about now, Anthony? I'm going to start ignoring you. Saquon won my league, so shush up.
We're getting feisty tonight.
Here, you think about it for 10 minutes, okay? Before you come in here and tell me to shush up about Saquon Barkley? Who's living on the Mars Man list? What are you talking about?
Mars Man.
I know I'm a little like spicy tonight, but like, good Lord, some of the people up in here, you don't tell me, Anthony. We tell you. Draft Saquon. You drafted Saquon. Congratulations. Why don't you say thank you, Smitty, instead of hey Smitty, shush up. I drafted Saquon. What is that? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Got him.
Take a big lap.
Okay, back to business. Well, I got rudely interrupted by Anthony like 7 times. He says, Smitty, you're missing him. And I tell him, Smitty, you don't have to say it twice. You're the one that wrote it 4 times in the chat. I only said it twice. You said it 4 times. Unbelievable. Okay, back on track here. Jerry Jeudy, how many leagues is he available in? How much percentage of ownership?
In Yahoo, he's available in 40%.
Good. Okay.
In Sleeper, he's available in 26%.
Yeah. Okay. So if Akine deserves to be like third or fourth in my opinion, unless I'm missing somebody. MVS, we got Johnson. We got a pretty good crew here. I don't think I'm missing anybody. If I am, let me know. And if the chat thinks we need to add anybody, let me know. But I think that Akine still needs to be well below Judy and Addison. Jennings, if Brock Purdy returns, will be like I think tucked in right below Addison and Judy, or maybe next to Judy, and Addison's by himself. Actually, Addison's way by himself. We'll put him right here.
Jennings, let me see how much he's.
He might be consumed in too many to keep. Okay.
Yeah, and 24% in Yahoo and even less in Sleeper.
Okay, bye Jennings. Okay, Jennings is gone. Judy and Akine kind of by themselves below Addison. Addison's in a tier by himself. We'll put the crown on him, meaning he's the best pickup at the position, no doubt. DeMarcus Robinson, MVS, Tillman, who got hurt. Vele, who's been playing great, number 2 wide receiver for Knicks now. Johnston still on there. You could even swap those two if you want. I know some people like Johnston a lot, but you can move that around like that. Wilson's on the board here. Pop Douglas, Worthy, Christian Watson failed people today, but he's still somebody getting targets. Bateman could fly up here if he has a good day tomorrow. Pearsall, again, if Purdy comes back, he might vault up a little bit. Yoshi Voss is nice, but Mechie, I think I got everybody. Who am I missing? Chat, is there anybody that needs to be added in Travis, if you got one?
Worthy actually is owned, and I mean, I think he still should be on the list because people will drop him in different leagues, but in both, he's 23% available in Yahoo and even less than that in Sleeper.
Okay, so we'll leave this right now just because I think
he'd probably still be on there though.
Yeah. MVS is interesting. He's intriguing, but this is it. It's like Addison, and then that's for very, very lucky people. Coleman is on here. He's definitely on here. At the risk of saying open your eyes, he's right there. But I think you're just asking about him, not necessarily saying he's missing. But my question was who's missing. And so if anybody thinks there's a player that needs to be added here, speak up. And Travis, if you could look at the chat, see if they're giving any good ideas. So while you're doing that, I'm going to go over to QB real quick because I think I got QB on lock. Yep. If anybody has a QB they want to toss out, or Travis, you want to, let me know. Bo Nix, we might have to remove him, but let's see what Bo Nix's availability is. Travis, look that up when you're done doing whatever you're doing.
He's 28% in Yahoo.
Let's keep him.
Probably a little hot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's close. Anything that's like on the verge, I want to just make sure we keep him on here. It's not going to help everybody, but there he is. Tua Tagovailoa, percentage of ownership. I imagine he's available in like at least 40 or 50% of leagues, right?
On Sleeper, he's available in 26%. On Yahoo, he's available in 23%. So he's right on the edge.
Okay, we'll leave him there. AR5, what's his availability?
On Yahoo, he's 36% available.
Okay. I feel good about this. Okay, any names missing? Anybody? Any weird order that anybody wants to put these in? Caleb, I don't know if Caleb. He might be available soon. Just hang tight. I think if Knicks or Tua are there, and those are borderline. I think those guys go 1 and 2. AR5, May, Stafford.
Caleb's available in enough leagues.
Yeah, I guess you could put Caleb on here. Sure. I mean, he had 300 yards, so we'll put him on here.
Yeah, he had a game.
We'll put him. I'd even say above. Would you rather have Taysom Hill or Caleb? Given you're not starting him, you're maybe holding for upside.
Probably Taysom Hill because of Caleb's schedule is brutal.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Had a good game today.
Anybody else? Anybody else agree with that? Fields I'm putting on here because Fields could become relevant really quickly, and in super flex leagues, Fields and Penix Jr. are very relevant people to watch or pick up and just hold on the bench if you're in super flex, because they could get back in. Same thing with Willis, Malik Willis, if he gets in there for for the very injury prone Jordan Love, then he could do something,
So for wide receiver, someone said Wicks, which Dubs has a concussion, so he may, depending on buys and stuff like that, he could get some run next week.
Yeah, Wicks is a
and
good
then
one.
David Moore from Carolina with Jalen Coker had 10 targets, 81 yards, and a touchdown. So
We could take
someone to watch.
We could take Pierce off, right? I don't know.
Alec Pierce.
Yeah, what did he even do this week?
He's not owned.
No, what did he do this week, though?
One reception.
I'm running out of room, which is why I'm asking.
Pierce is a
more.
boomer bust guy.
Let's go more.
Really only had a couple good weeks.
All right, let's go more. Maybe Pierce comes back into play next week. But, okay, so more. You could say Noah Brown. I think we're getting to the point where this feels like it's pretty well in order. QBs, wide receivers, tight ends. I think we're still talking about Taysom Hill and Jonnu Smith, unless Jonnu Smith has been picked up in too many leagues to qualify for 30% availability.
Yeah.
What do you see in that?
Had a touchdown today, so that's good. Oh no, he didn't have one. I'm sorry. I was thinking of something else. Oh, Shoemaker's on there. Ertz had the touchdown. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, that's a good list.
So what's Jonnu available in? How many?
Jonnu, 30% on Yahoo.
30%. Okay. Disley, Henry, Schultz. This feels pretty good. Gray, Noah Gray. I added Noah Gray. Keeps getting touchdowns. Ertz on here. Likely still a very, very big sleeper of mine if Andrews gets hurt, or when. I shouldn't say if. When Andrews gets hurt, I think he jumps up. Shoemaker we put on here. Pretty good-looking list here. Running backs are the one that I feel like maybe I'm missing somebody, but it's very dry. Jaylen Warren, is he available in at least 30% of leagues, or did he jump into the 20s?
Yeah, he's available in 41%.
Okay. So probably the number one pickup. McNichols maybe would be next up because of the injuries to both Brian Robinson Jr. and Eckler. Probably the next man up in Washington. So for volume, he might even be the edge, get the edge in this, and be a guy that we rank, I guess, 1A and Warren 1B. Corum, just for the sheer volume he could get if something happened. Braylon Allen, the sheer volume he could get. Benson, same thing. Ray Davis, same thing. Brooks, who knows what, same thing if Chuba got hurt. So these are all like cuffs right here. I have a cluster of cuffs right here in Corum, Allen, Benson, Davis, Brooks, Mason, Grendo, and you could even put Algier there, that if something happens, it's go time. You could even put Roschon there. You could even put Wright there. I almost even order it kind of like something like that. Gus, Estime, down. I put them all down below there. Bigsby, everybody. Bigsby could rise up if something, develops there. But I think that's a pretty solid list. Am I missing anybody? Someone said Gainwell. I guess. Yeah.
Gainwell, he gets run. He had 5 carries with a touchdown. I guess he fits as a cuff, but how good of a cuff is he?
I put him in the bottom of the cluster, but he should probably be on there, I suppose. Marvin Mims.
Did Mims do something this week?
Yeah, he did okay. He definitely was being used. So is he available in enough leagues to probably?
Yeah, he's available in 90%.
Woo! Okay. I don't know that he's like a league winner or anything. I didn't mean it like that, but just that's a lot of availability.
3 receptions, 44 yards.
Yeah, we'll put him on here. I don't know where. I think one could argue this, like crazy. I'm not super particular about the exact order in this cluster of wide receivers right here, but I think that's a decent.
Does Hunter Henry still belong on the? He's there. Never mind.
Yeah, he's there. Disley's there. Schultz is there. Likely Gray, Schoonmaker, Komet, Muth. I mean, you could argue those guys. If something happened to the wide receivers, and Cincy, we know Gesicki would pop back up. Knox, if he's not awesome, but Parkinson, I think that's good. The only thing I'm wondering is if I'm missing a big name running back. I don't think I am. I think it just got thinned out big time. KJV says ETN's available in 22% of leagues on NFL.
Oh wow, he's available in about 17% on Yahoo.
Okay, well, not enough to.
It's notable.
Yeah, not enough to crack the
enough to be
list,
on the list.
but definitely good fact.
Yeah, 16% on Sleeper too. Wow, that many people dropped.
Yeah. So if I had to say, I'd say Addison is league winning. If available, Nix could be league winning or league saving. Taysom Hill, Jonnu Smith could be league winning. Jalen Warren, Nichols, maybe McNichols is the king of the running backs. I'll put the crown on him because the sheer volume might be there for him. But Warren's kind of crafty too. But it really is a thinned out running situation. What I would keep an eye on is think about what RBs could be sat. I'm not saying that a coach is going to like sit Achane or sit McCaffrey or whatever. But if they get injured and they're out of it, like if this happens later, now there's still hope for Miami, but but if something happened and let's say Achane got banged up and they're like, we're going to sit him, even if let's say the Miami Dolphins were going to make the playoffs, they're like, we're going to keep Achane healthy or whatever. Wright could vault straight to the top, just like Warren's climbed immediately, just like Estime last week climbed really high. Now look at Estime. So keep an eye on Jalen Wright. And also, if the season gets out of hand quickly, the team's going to definitely be like, let's see what we got in Wright. They're not going to be afraid to put mileage on. They're going to say, let's see what we got. And there's always, every single year, one or two RBs, sometimes receivers too, one or two RBs that get crazy work in like weeks 15, 16, 17, and you're like, you don't know what to make of the 20, 25 value because you're like, holy crap, like they did great in 3 straight games. What do I make of it? I think Wright is a candidate for that, so just keep an eye on that. But here's the waiver wire for week number 13. I think it's pretty thinned out, minus these guys that are not available in everyone's situation. Like you take Nix, Tua, Addison, Hill, and Jonnu off, who are the most likely to not help a lot of people. If you're in like a huge league, this is a very thin waiver wire. It's getting really thin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All the more reasons to start if you have the room or situation to start looking at those handcuff running backs, especially if you're a playoff team and you get guys floating around on the bench that you never use.
Yeah,
Pop up that good running back because it's so important. People still underestimate how important it can be down the stretch.
Let me hit these super chats real quickly. I need 42 from Herbert and Likely, or I drop to 7-5, which is a good record, Hassan. But I would say that's going to be you're probably like a 40% likelihood of winning based on the app, I would guess, right? Something along those lines. It could happen, but that's a tall order. But it's possible. And this is, again, why you began playing fantasy football, to begin with, the adrenaline rush of that kind of scenario. So just enjoy it. Westbrook Akine says, Charles, he's on the list. But I appreciate you. Charles is the guy that tried to go at me earlier, but appreciate you, Charles. He's there. He's there, my bro. He's right there. He's been there. Akine. My boy Charles. Charles in charge. Up 5. Have Herbert, Bateman, Dicker the kicker versus Henry. Up 5. Give me Henry. I'm sorry. But it's possible. I mean, depends on quarterback scoring and everything, too. But Henry I'd rather have. Doesn't mean it will work out. I mean, look at Mixon. Has Mixon not been top 3, top 4 running back material all year? And Mixon had like 22-something yards or whatever. Just got offered Ramondre and Reed for my Tracy and Dell. I would take Ramondre and Reed, to be honest. I don't know what Tracy's, if he's got the starting job anymore. I imagine, like we talked about in the Patreon chat, if anybody is not on the Patreon, make sure you are on the Patreon. I'm going to drop the link right now in the live chat. It is basically a 24/7 live chat community on my Patreon and we're all just living in there during the games in the game day lounge right there. All these other chat rooms become like a ghost town, and we're all just piled into the game day lounge. I sat in there all day long, just chatting the entire day. But as we were talking about in there just a little bit ago, is this like we have to teach you a lesson? You're going to the bench for the remainder of the game, and then we're going to be like, okay, you understand? Okay, now hold on to the ball. Or did he lose his job? He didn't just fumble the ball in a big situation. You could literally point at him for losing both those games. I know that the game got completely out of hand, but he fumbled it at a very the wrong time. And then the week prior, he fumbled the ball in a very critical situation. They got the ball back. The Giants were marching, and he fumbled the ball away and lost the game. So literally 2 weeks in a row, he's been the liability, not a liability, the liability. So a coach has to make a decision at some point, and he did. He pretty much lost his job today. So I don't know. I don't want to have anything to do with that. If you can give me Reed, who everyone's going to run away from, Ramondre, who got good volume, and he always gets good volume, or he gets most of the time gets good looks. It's a horrible situation, kind of. I'm taking Reed and Ramondre, and then I try and flip it into something else, though, and I appreciate your $10 hauler. Travis, you're a big Patriots fan. Do you agree? Would you take the Ramondre Reed side?
Yeah, I would. I mean, Ramondre's going to have days like this just because of the way the line is and stuff, but he'll have decent games too. And then Reed, it's just that I still have Reed a lot.
Yeah, I think people are wild. They're so reactive. Like Reed's. Someone said in the chat, where is that? Not trying to call your comment out, but Reed, where was it? Someone said he's not good at football. Not good. What is it? Not good.
Yeah, he's only coming into this week. He was a number 12 wide receiver.
Here it is. Here it is. Reed is not a good fantasy producer. Stay away from.
He's a number 12 wide receiver coming into this week.
Reed's bad.
Take a big lap.
Okay, so let people be reactive. It's okay. Is Brian Robinson startable rest of season? Brian Robinson, he got hurt, so we're kind of waiting on some updates and stuff like that tomorrow. The last report on Robinson, let me go find it and read it to you, just so we have all the information. But we'll hear a lot.
He got hurt right away in game 2. It was first drive.
It didn't look good. It looked bad. He did walk off the field, if I remember correctly, but that doesn't mean anything. You can walk off with an ACL tear. You can walk off. Let's see, Brian Robinson Jr. Probably a high ankle sprain, if I had to guess. Runs for 13 yards in the loss. Diagnosed with did he have a concussion? No, that was Eckler. Okay.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought maybe he had both. Let's see here. Brian Robinson. It looks like leg ankle. I don't think it's an ACL or anything, but it was an ankle game, only to start the Commander's second drive. Robinson had his leg rolled up on by a defender. He returned to the field. Did he play the whole game? Because he didn't.
It was the first play of the offensive play of the game, and then he came back. So
did he play the whole game though, or did he go back out again? I felt like I didn't see him. I felt like I just didn't see him. I thought he'd gone back out. I don't know.
He only got 5 carries, so
yeah.
He only got 4 more carries after that.
So that's the thing. We don't know. We don't really. We'll wait. We'll find out more information tomorrow. So I'm assuming, drafting on my mind, you didn't realize he got injured, but he did get injured. Apparently, he came back. We only saw him take 4 more carries. I don't know if they just said that's why. Remember, JD5 ran a ton in the game, so it's possible JD.
The chat saying he didn't come back after halftime.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought I remembered, because JD5 was running a ton for a reason. Okay, so there you go. Game script, no, it was injury, and I don't know what's in store for him for next week. Sometimes the adrenaline allows you to play, and then all of a sudden it starts swelling, and then you can't do anything. The other thing too is think about this: if you sprain your ankle and you keep moving, the swelling doesn't rush to it as much. But as soon as you go to halftime or sit on the bench, it balloons up, and so he probably couldn't even play in the second half. So my guess is that he's going to be very iffy to play in his next contest, but we'll find out tomorrow. This one here from Okami, 12-man, 1 flex, Kyler, Stafford, Barkley, Kyren, Hunt, Benson, Ray Davis, Bigsby, London, MHJ, Downs, Devontae Smith, Mark Andrews, Taysom. Thanks, 8-4. I don't know if you're asking for just rate it. I mean, bro, you had Barkley. You had a day. You had Kyren. Kyren did well. Barkley did well. London's coming back. I hate to think that you lost your week because of the other pieces on your team, like Hunt didn't do well. London was on a bye. MHJ did bad. Downs wasn't great. Devontae Smith was injured. Like, I do wonder if you won this week just off of Barkley. I'd be very curious to know. But your team's fantastic, bro. Like, that's looking really, really good. Trust in MHJ at the value you have him at the position you have him at. You're not asking him to be the number one. Devontae Smith should come back. I think they're being more precautionary than anything. We heard in the broadcast today, they were speculating. Kareem Hunt, loses a lot of touches. The problem for you is, like, what quarterback do you start? Stafford, who feels a little bit safer right now, and he's got amazing weapons, and they love to run. They love to throw the ball and run the ball. Or Kyler, who, when you sit him, he's going to go off and have a top 4 quarterback game, and when you start him, he's not going to. Like, you're going to get this wrong. It's going to be very frustrating. I don't know. Kyler, let me look up where Kyler's ranking right now overall in quarterback scoring. He's such a tough. So leaders, QBs, Kyler Murray is ranked number 11. It's hard. Like, he's still that's a bad game he just had. If he had a good game, he could be 7. So I know we all want to run away from Kyler. We're all very reactive people, and we see someone like Reed do bad. We're like, Reed's garbage. MHJ, inconsistent. You just want to write him off, drop him. I get it. But in some cases, you got to remember the player you're turning to is no more secure. So you got to ask yourself, who's got the better upside? If you've got 2 inconsistent players and you're running away from one because they just had a bad game, you could be living in regret and changing lanes on the freeway just because your lane's going slow and the lane next to you is going faster. You switch lanes and now that lane goes slow and the lane you were in zips right by it. Like, you got to be careful. I like your team.
Yeah.
I think you could easily win it.
I would just, so is that the one with Stafford too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be certain situations. It could be in matchups, depending on the matchup.
This one here, that Waddle and Hawkinson call paid off. Thank you, my boy. I'm going up against Barkley, but the team scored 177, so it didn't matter. I wish I had swapped Abdullah for Tracy, but good week overall. Nice job, Ivy. I know you got this, so keep at it, pal. Cody, appreciate your super chat. And then Jurassic said, need Pacheco to save my running back too. I have B-Rob Jr. and Tracy. Yeah, he should be ready. I don't know how much work he'll get this week, but I really do believe he's back this coming game. Burrow and Tua trade with K9 for running back upgrade. Yeah, the question is, are they going to really want K9 right now? I'm not saying I don't love K9, but I don't know that he gets you a lot. So, could you trade? I'd probably rather keep Burrow, obviously, but Tua did just do well, so maybe somebody's going to want that. So Tua and K9 for JT, who struggled. You're going to have to go after a running back or wide receiver that struggled, that you're a little worried about acquiring. Otherwise, you're not getting them. No one's trading somebody that's popping off. No one's trading even Kyren scoring touchdowns. You could try. Kyren, I'd try. I'd actually try that. K9 and Tua for Kyren, just because of some of the negativity we see. Maybe people are spreading that negativity like earlier, that it's affecting people. So try. But, JT would be a perfect candidate to go get for K9 and Tua. I like that idea a lot. And then other running backs that apply to that, I don't know.
How do you feel? I know he's been doing great, but would you go after? He's been doing good. I shouldn't say great. Would you go after Monty if someone's afraid of the injury? 'Cause it seems
Yes.
like he's going to be okay.
Yes, I'd definitely go after Monty. Monty's a great player. Okay, Scott, sources say Elon, after watching JD5 in the fourth quarter today, is naming him to be the first manned mission to Mars. That's not true, Scott. That's fake news. It's ridiculous. He's already colonized on Mars. He's already moved on to Saturn.
Yeah.
Well, why would he mess around with Mars?
To Mars.
He's on Saturn, pal.
Take a big lap.
No, I appreciate you, Scott, and congrats. I know you're just trying to pump him up, and I'm just joking with you, but damn, bro. Like, God, Saquon had a day. It's almost surreal. 302 total yards and 2 touchdowns is crazy. Like, that last touchdown, people that were going up against him were probably like, son of a bee.
Yeah.
Come on.
I had him in Mars. Man, but I faced him in my big league. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Double
you know,
whammy.
take what you can get.
Double whammy. Yeah, so interesting day all in all. You know, Jordan Addison, not to go over all this again, just real quickly, 162 yards and a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, 2 touchdowns and 90 yards. Achane had the 32 yards and 2 scores. Malik Neighbors didn't get used until the very end and still managed 6 receptions for 64, but he's very upset and vocal, saying that it's not the quarterbacks, and I don't blame him. He's very upset, and you've got to ask yourself the question, if Neighbors is going to be a risky dynasty player right now, I'd definitely buy him on Panic for sure. He's the duality of this situation. People are scared, go buy, because you're buying low. But if you own him and you paid top dollar for him, you're a little worried, and you should be, because this is an organization you cannot guarantee is going to get the right quarterback in the draft. Look at Caleb Williams. Look at the Bears drafting Caleb over the other 4 quarterbacks. Caleb is the 5th ranked quarterback to me of the 2024 rookie quarterback class. He's my 5th quarterback. Anthony, you stop bad-mouthing my boy Kyron.
Take a big lap.
He's just back doing it again. Check the stats. Yeah, let me go check the stats. Let me look at the stats. Let me just see what he's been doing lately. He's got.
Gets out of the penalty box.
Let's just see. Yeah, you're right out of the penalty. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 touchdowns so far. Yeah, I know some of the yardage hasn't been there as of late, but he's still absolutely delivering. Okay. Here we go. What do we? Oh, Mahomes, 269 and 3 touchdowns, and then 60 rushing yards. It's basically like 4 touchdowns. It's 4 touchdowns, 269 is the equivalent of that. Mahomes is back. All the Mahomes isn't worth owning. You should drop him, put him on the bench, or put him on the waiver wire. Bucky, love Bucky, big Bucky community here. We got a real tight Bucky fan club here. 87 yards rushing and a touchdown in a Week 12 win over the Giants. 6 for 64 receiving. Absolutely exploded. Nico should have had a second touchdown and be well over 100 yards. Second week in a row he's been robbed of a big touchdown. That flag again. When that flag popped up, it was damn. Tyreek Hill missing. Milk carton. No hope for him at this point. I don't know how you could have hope for him. Tua, 4 touchdowns. Amazing day. Eckler got hurt. Probably not playing. Jonnu, 87 and a touch. Jaden Daniels had 3 TDs, 275 passing, and an additional, 70 yards rushing for JD5? I want to say.
It was 51 at one point. I don't know if he got more.
Waddle,
I got it right here.
Waddle 144.
Yeah, 74. Yep, 74 for Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, Waddle Waddle 144 and a touchdown. Just unbelievable bounce back for him, and you got to think that's more to come with Hill being completely insignificant. 67 yards for Lamb on
Tua looking good.
This is the definition of an upside down world. 10 receptions and you can't eclipse 70 yards. This is what Neighbors lives in. Neighbors and CD live in the same world.
Someone said Cooper Rush has turned CD Lamb into Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah. Sure. JJ,
Gotta hope for the touchdown.
This opens the door. This opens the door to a JJ trade. If you're allowed to trade still, and everybody running their mouth last week about how I shouldn't be talking about buying JJ low. Are you ridiculous? No one's going to sell him. 27 yards. Darnold looks bad. And I'm not even saying there isn't risk involved. Depends on the cost of entry. But I buy JJ if you can. McLaurin's back. All the doubters. What do we say on the morning show and evening show the night before? Everybody trying to give us dilemmas that we're putting McLaurin on the bench as if he wasn't deserving of locked-in wide receiver 2 role on a team because he struggled. He had a couple struggle games. I mean, he looked phenomenal. I mean, you could say, well, what if you take away that one? You can't do that. You can't take away. There's no woulda, shoulda, couldas, or if we take backsies, there's no triple stamping, double stamps. It is what it is. Joe Mixon, probably not going to be able to buy him too cheaply if you can still trade. But, people panic, man. People are reactive. Just like we say, kick the tires, 22 yards. Maybe somebody's like, he's going to wear down. Aaron Jones, I'd sell high, but also keep him and only sell high because I still believe he'll. I mean, we're entering week 13. This whole okay, he's an older running back. Are we worried about, him breaking down? It's week 13. Yeah. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We got 5 weeks left. But I would sell high because he's always getting banged up, but I would only sell high. I mean, that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Love had the 2 touchdowns and 163. Kittle was solid in this one, 6 for 82 and a touch, but the Niners look horrible. And the fact that Shanahan didn't know to start Joshua Dobbs. Did you hear the report that Brandon Allen had a fractured finger and he still started?
Yeah. It was
wow.
On his non-throwing hand. But
I know. God, he had a fractured finger. Shanahan rolled with him. And it's clear as day that Dobbs is the exciting spark that brings an X factor that, after about 4 or 5 games, the defenses will lock Dobbs down. But Dobbs like Ryan Fitzpatrick, Dobbs like Malik Willis, Dobbs like so many other quarterbacks that could come in and just do something for a couple games. And then before they get figured out, you take them out because Purdy's back. Shanahan maybe he's tanking for a reason. Maybe he's tanking for a draft pick. But the thing is, they're still in the mix. So I don't think that's in his mindset. I don't think he was trying to do that. Well, but how do you do that?
Season borderline hanging in the balance a little bit. That's what you want. You want that spark. And like you said, Dobbs can even ride for a few weeks till you get Purdy back, as long as he's coming back.
It's unbelievable.
That's the perfect spot for him.
Unbelievable. Jacobs. Let's look at that Mars man list one more time.
He's on fire. Yeah.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars man.
I mean, the thing that pisses me off about this list,
loads dropping and spinning aimlessly in space,
is, first of all, Barkley and Jacobs, I don't think you could find bigger, these guys returning stronger than ever than I can remember on a list like this. Kupp would have all year long if Kupp didn't get hurt. Now, I will take ownership in that he's older, and so the injuries were part of the risk, and him getting hurt wasn't freak as much as he is older. So I own that, but he's still balling out for the most part, and I think he's totally valid on this list.
Yeah.
Debo, complete crap.
Debo,
complete failure right now. I admit that. Right now, could it change? Maybe, but it's not like I'm dropping him. But now you're asking the question: do I start Akine over him? You got to consider it. Dell, he did okay today. He had 70 yards, but he's not doing what we wanted him to do. AR5's looking like he's getting back in the groove, so I'm kind of excited about that. Stroud's crap to bed. McBride's looking good right now. London's been fantastic. Kupp, London, Barkley, Jacobs, and Kincaid's flopped. Pacheco should look. He was doing well, and he got hurt. He'll come back, and I think Pop will earn enough. I think late season respect that this is very, very nice looking at the end of it all. And so to have, these league winners right here in Barkley, Jacobs, and London and Cup, I feel really strong. I feel very good about the Marsman list. I don't think this was a miss by any means. I think it was a smash.
There's one thing I was going to say about this week I noticed a lot. One, I know weeks like this where guys have crazy stats and some guys don't do so well. Like, just make sure, because I know people do it with trades, don't panic and ship someone off like Kyron for nothing. That's obvious. That's an obvious thing. Then the other thing I've seen a lot of, and I know it's easy to do, we all do it, but you can't beat yourself up on hindsight. Like, oh, I started this guy instead of that guy, and it's like it was an obvious start to make, and then someone else just does well on your bench.
Yeah.
Like you can't jump and go, oh, I got to start him next week now over this guy. Like, no, look at the situation and make the right call. Don't overreact to things like that just because of hindsight. Because I just see a lot of people doing that this week, and I don't want to see people get burned because of it.
Yeah. Let me hit these super chats real quickly. This one from Manny. Need six Dobbins points to move to 8-4 and playoff bye. I think you'll get 6 points out of Dobbins. Yeah, I'd definitely bank on that. I mean, he could get a touchdown really easily, and then 30 or 40 yards, or 70 yards and no touchdown or something like that. I think it's very doable. Irving
Probably
or
6 points every week.
Bucky Irving or McLaurin in my flex in week 13.
Wow.
I think you go.
You can bench.
I think you. Let's look at the schedule. I did update that. I've got the schedule. So you're talking about Bucky. Sunday afternoon, one of the only 3 Sunday afternoon games. Remember, we got 3 Thursday Turkey Day games. We got a Friday game, the Las Vegas Raiders and the Chiefs. We got the Sunday slate. We got only the 3 afternoon games because of all this action over here. Sunday night is the Niners at the Buffalo Bills, and Monday night is the Cleveland Browns at Denver. I bet they thought that was going to be a popcorn fest. Denver, that's kind of like, I don't know. That's going to be a tough one to watch. Maybe I think Knicks will look good, but I think Cleveland. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe Winston puts on a show. I guess it's just not the most exciting.
Yeah, they could.
Exciting game, but I love this matchup. This should be fun to watch. Rams, New Orleans, Tampa Bay at Carolina. Okay, what was the question again? It was.
It was Bucky or McLaurin next week.
Okay, so Bucky at Carolina. Wow.
Bucky at Carolina is a smash spot.
But let's see, Washington versus Tennessee. Tennessee can play tough, but I don't know.
Let's see. I wonder what receivers have done against.
Chat, what does the chat think? Are we going Bucky at Carolina? The only concern though is you still got this coaching staff that's willing to maybe split it up in a way that you just can't predict. But you'd think that at this point they're all in.
Decent on defense.
At this point,
Tennessee's decent on defense.
At this point, you think they would say we're all in on Bucky. You would just think that. I guess I would go Bucky, but to be honest with you, Bradford, this is your own fault. This is your own fault. Take a lap because there's no reason you should be putting on your bench, and you're putting me in a tough position, Bradford. For a $1.99 hauler, you're trying to put my reputation on the line by making me sit one of these monsters, and you should have been out there trying to make a trade. No, I'm just kidding. You'd have to trade away all your depth, but wow, I go Bucky.
There'll be a lot of Bucky questions this week.
Yeah.
For sure, because he's been on people's benches, and he's climbing up into that spot now.
And the bad part about that is if he goes out and lays a dud, and it's not his fault because they just don't use him, everyone's going to write him off. But Bucky sucks. Inbox,
It'll
Debo.
have to be because of usage.
Inbox, my Debo neighbors and Addison for JJ in Dynasty.
You got to keep Neighbors and Addison, right?
I don't think so. I think I want JJ.
Because of the situation.
Well, I mean, they're both in bad situations, and we can't just assume the Giants are smart enough to get out of it.
Yeah.
And I like Addison, I do, but JJ to me is still going in the top 5 overall. That's tough. I imagine that the chat's going to be divided on this. I'd love to see a vote on this. I don't think you're wrong, Travis, if you like the Neighbors side more. But Debo's older. Hard to imagine him. He probably will be elsewhere next year, by the way. The word is Debo's gone. So Debo will be elsewhere. He could be a kind of a hot commodity. I think Buffalo would make a lot of sense because he'd be cheap enough at his age that he could go somewhere where the Bills could use him like a running back in a sense that they're passing to him at the line of scrimmage. And but who knows if he'll even stay healthy or whatever. But we got a JJ vote. Vote for this, please. Vote on this.
You might be right, though, because Addison's kind of stuck in that Waddle territory where as long as JJ's there and dominating, he's going to have a tough time being that consistent guy.
I love Neighbors, but we got a JJ, another vote. We got 2 Neighbors votes, 2 JJ votes. Another JJ vote. It's close. That's why I say I very much believe it's going to, like, we're split on it. I think the chat is going to be split on it. It looks like JJ's winning by like 1 vote right now. 2 votes. He's winning by 2 votes. It's very close. I would go JJ. I draft JJ over Neighbors, and at least McCarthy. What's Sam Darnold's contract? I mean, I got it right here. Hold on. Sam Darnold's contract. I just want to. I think he's a free agent, right? He is an unrestricted free agent in 2025. So they're not going to keep him. They're not going to keep him. So it's not like they have a very secure backup plan in Darnold if this thing goes awry. Although he might not finish in a high enough fashion that he gets a lot of offers and maybe they re-ink him. Hard to say how that'll work out. Maybe. If he finishes well, he'll be a hot commodity. And that's wild to say, but it is what it is. So, do I believe, this is the question, do I believe that the Giants are smart enough to get into a Shedeur Sanders, or do they grab a rookie QB we don't believe in, or go after some quarterback we don't believe in, and do a stopgap measure, a bridge quarterback, and then they draft offensive line, and they want Shedeur, or they don't want anybody, or like something like that. And like, do we trust that the Giants, who are inept as an organization, are going to bring in a quarterback we like more than J.J. McCarthy for J.J.?
You're kind of swaying me a little bit. My gut said take Neighbors and Addison because it was two young guys that are good, but JJ is so established in what he can do.
I trust the Giants 0. So I'm going to go JJ. Yeah. Good question, though, Gary. Very, very good question. Good dynasty topic. Maybe we'll do a dynasty show on that. Bucky over Kyren or JT next week. Look, I like Bucky that much that I could have this conversation, and the matchup is phenomenal. But
JT versus the Patriots.
Yeah. Rams at New Orleans.
New Orleans, that's a good spot too.
I don't think I'm sitting Kyren though. Like Bucky, here's the thing, bro. Again, this comes back to the question at hand: is what do you have? Like, how do you not have this conversation about a different player? Like, Kyren has to be in your running back 1 or at least your running back 2 slot. If not, you're playing in a grandma league and none of this matters. You're going to win it anyway because you got this much depth or whatever. So I guess I would just say, and I guess JT is part of that conversation, but this is a flex question where you say, Bucky's my flex, eat it. Get ready to enjoy the Bucky show. He's my flex, and I'm going to crush you into the ground. But you shouldn't be putting Kyren on the bench. We need to figure out another way, Eddie, to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess I need more details, too. I just don't understand that. Should I trade Nico and Taysom for McBride and DK? I'm going to say no, my boy. I'd rather bank on Taysom failing, but having Nico by my side, but having the upside that Taysom doesn't fail, than bank on what's going on in Seattle. I don't like what's going on. Even though Seattle won, it just doesn't look good right now. They're winning very badly. This fantasy-wise, I could care less if they're winning a game. You're not using DK right. You're not using Walker right. Give me Nico all day. And Nico's two plays overturned away from having another 100 total yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he literally would have had, didn't he have, he would have 4 touchdowns and well over 200 yards in 2 games. So Nico.
And the new coach in New Orleans seems to be committed to using Taysom. He doesn't seem hesitant at all.
Yeah, Saquon.
Give Taysom the ball.
Saquon Achan and AK-41 on my team in my biggest money league, 12-man, 9-3. Even with my suspect wide receiver core of Garrett Wilson, Dell, Downs, Moore, and Waddle. Great job, Spencer. Nice job, bro. I like it. And Jesse, thank you for the super chat, Spencer. Trade deadline is Wednesday. Currently relying on JT and Devontae Smith and Debo to be quality starts, potential moves. Kyren, it seems like Kyren's doubted in a weird way again. So Kyren, I like JT enough that I just keep him. Debo and Devontae Smith, or if you've got another RB, you can couple Debo and Smith with, but like Debo and Smith for Cup. You try for Nico. I don't think you'll get it. Maybe the person doesn't watch the game. Maybe Box Score Bobby that has Nico, and he has no idea that Nico should have 100 more yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah. I don't know. I maybe try. And then if you can't get Cup, Evans is a nice buy low right now too. I'd rather have Evans than Smith and Debo probably. And people are running away from Evans, Jesse, so that's pretty easily had. You might even do something smaller than both wide receivers for him. I think that would be good, bro. All right, let me open the phone lines real quick, Travis. Hold on.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I actually had a quick question.
JT to the Cowboys.
Do you think it's all right to drop Christian Watson to pick up Likely for tomorrow?
Sure.
Just in case Andrew
yeah.
gets hurt.
I mean, we've learned by now that Watson's going to do bad when you start him. He's going to do great when you don't, and I just don't know. This Genty to the Cowboys, fingers crossed. I don't know if I share that enthusiasm. I'm not saying I don't like the idea compared to other landing spots. Let me pull up the NFL conferences here again and just real quickly just eyeball this because this helps visualize it. What team needs an RB? What's Mixon's contract? Let's look him up. Joe
I think he signed
Mixon.
a 2-year deal.
Joe Mixon contract.
Oh, jeez.
3-year. 3-year.
3 years. Yeah.
3-year. Okay. 3-year deal. Nice. Okay, so he's locked in. Denver. Oh, God, please no Denver. Please no Denver. If Genty went to Denver, he'd be ruined. I don't think they would use him like we would. I don't think so. It feels like last year's Bijan and really even early 2024 Bijan usage. Like I just don't want that. Buffalo would be very interesting, but James Cook is still a force. I have to look at some of these contracts too. Henry in Baltimore probably for another year. KC, no. Indianapolis, no. Miami, no. Although you never know with Mike McDaniel. Bengals, I hope not, because I don't want Chase Brown to get stunted. Cleveland, it's a possibility. They reworked Chubb's deal just to not cut him. So that's a possibility. New England, no. They just gave Stevenson an extension.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, it's possible. The Raiders, it's possible. The Steelers, no. Well, you never know.
Najee's a free agent.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's right. So maybe
That'd be a nice place.
it could be.
Yeah.
It could be, but not. I don't want Arthur Smith there. I don't want him there. The Jets, no. The Titans, I don't want it. The Chargers, I don't want that either. I mean, it would be a good place, but I just fear. I feel like that type of caliber player, Harbaugh would lean on, though, but I don't know for sure how it would look, how it would work. I think he would. I don't think you'd spend. First of all, if you draft Genty, you're having to draft Genty in the top 15 overall, top 20 overall.
Right.
So any team that drafts him is probably going to be more pressured to use him. So maybe that would be good if in the right situation. Please no Chicago. Please no Chicago. Dallas is better than some, but I don't think it's the most ideal yet. Detroit, no. New York Giants, please no. But possible. Carolina, no. They just signed Hubbard and they got a young rookie they're probably still excited about. Rams, no. They just took Corum. They're not doing that. Cardinals, no. With Benson. Falcons, no. Green Bay, it's probably a no because Jacobs looks fantastic. Barkley in Philly, no. New Orleans, AK just signed a new extension, so no. San Francisco, you never know what freaking Shanahan's going to do, but that's an early pick. I don't think he'd do it. The Vikings, you never know because Aaron Jones is older, and it does depend how he finishes, but Washington, I mean,
that'd be awesome.
You don't know.
That'd be cool.
Brian Robinson Jr., what's his contract? Can you look that one up?
He's still on the rookie deal, I think.
See what that looks like. Tampa Bay, hopefully it's Bucky. And then Seattle, please no. So maybe I guess to answer Shelly's question, I mean, maybe Dallas is in the top 5. They got to be, I guess.
Yeah, I think they are. Let's see. I got Brian Robinson.
Yeah, I just wanted to work it out because I hadn't quite gone through every team.
So next year is Brian Robinson's 4th year, so they'll have to pick up his 5th year option if they want to. But they could.
I don't think he has a 5th year option. He's not a first round player.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah.
So yeah, this is his last year then.
So next year is his last year.
Yeah, so I would say if I had to put it in order based on what we just did, the exercise we just did, Washington would be pretty damn good. Washington 1.
Who else was we said? Cowboys, Chargers, Steelers, Raiders.
Yeah, Washington. The Raiders would be good if they got a quarterback. The problem is they need a quarterback.
Right.
If they brought Fields in or something and then drafted Genty and have Bowers, then we're talking about an offense that could spend a high draft pick on a running back. And they did pick Bowers, so they're not they don't object to using the pick on the highest player on their board.
I could see them bringing in a Darnold. Something like that.
The Browns. Yeah, the Browns are a good place for a running back. They just need a quarterback.
They need a QB.
Justin Fields is somebody I predict to be a potential landing spot, quarterback to land in Cleveland. And if wherever Fields goes, that might be a good Genty situation.
Open the door, yeah.
Because then the team doesn't need to use the early pick on a quarterback, and they can draft Genty. It's a good question. Another good dynasty topic. Thank you, Shelly. Appreciate that. All right, hold on one second. Let me get these.
Cowboys might be top 3 at this point. Top 3 or 4.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But you can't looking at it objectively. It's still a lot of talent, And Jerry gets in the way, but if they bring in a new coach, maybe it'll be okay. My dilemma is JJ, AJB, wide receivers are Saquon, Achane. Let's see here. Running backs are Saquon, Achane, and then Kyren. So in flex, I could afford to move Nico for McBride. No, you can't. I would not. No, bro. I like McBride a lot, but Nico is literally a
tight end.
No, absolutely not.
Find another way to get a tight end if that's what he needs.
You don't even need to really do that. Are you telling me you can't start Nico? Like, you start 2 wide receivers, I assume, and then 3 running backs, and you can't start another wide receiver? If so, I'd trade AJB. I keep Nico and JJ.
Yeah.
Or you trade JJ, but you don't trade him for McBride, though, even. So the answer is still no.
I wonder who his tight end is. Because that's a good team.
Or your
want to mess with that team.
I mean, upgrade your quarterback, maybe. Like, get McBride in a QB for AJB or something like that. Racing Boy, appreciate you. Trade ideas from Alec here. Tried trading for JJ. Owner won't sell. Hurts, AJB, Tyreek, Achane, Chase Brown, Kraft, Debo, Bucky, Jennings, Kincaid, Eckler. Please. So Achane and Bucky and Chase Brown are your 3 running backs, which is great. Then you got Debo and Tyreek and A.J. Brown. So if you kept A.J. Brown and Hurts and you tried to trade Tyreek and Debo for Collins, Tyreek and Debo for Evans and something. You said JJ's not on the table. St. Brown. What were last week's wide receivers to go get? Let me pull up that board. JJ. It's tough to say, bro. I don't know that there's a lot that fall into the Tyreek Hill. I guess, yeah, Evans. I mean, it's a lot to pay, but I don't know that I trust Tyreek or Debo at all. Like, look what Tyreek and Debo got you this week. Look what they got you last week. If Evans is a wide receiver 1, and I do believe he is, it's worth it. Maybe get something else, but he might be the cheapest wide receiver 1. London could be one.
Coming off a bye in a down week.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about DK? Because I know people are going to be down on him since JSN has kind of been scoring more points. And
thank you, Alex.
Banged up. Would DK still be a guy you'd go after? Because I know you mentioned that offense is kind of messy right now.
I don't know.
I guess for the right price. Yeah.
I'd be interested in him, but I don't think I'm buying him as a wide receiver 1 on any level at all.
Right.
It's like I'm buying him like I'm trying to buy MHJ. And I still like MHJ in the wide receiver 3-4 slot. Like, you got week 14 coming up with a bunch of buys. Hopefully he rebounds that week when you what week is the Cardinals week 14 bye?
I believe so. No, Cardinals
they just had a bye. They just had a bye. Okay, so yeah, so like week 14, let's say you're forced to use MHJ. Hopefully that's the week he bounces back for you and you're like in a dilemma where you have to play him. That's the only hope. Let me go over to Scotty Dew real quick. Scotty Dew, you're live.
Hey, aloha, man. Hey, I should have played Pop Douglas.
Who'd you play instead?
Hey, it's all good.
Who'd you play instead?
I played Debo. I remember I asked you to play Debo or Pop Douglas.
Oh, yeah.
I do have Barkley. On that team. I'm only up by 13, though, and he got Justin Herbert. Hey, in another league, dude, I'm in first place. The guy right behind me in second place, he lost, so I'll be up a game. And I barely won, dude. I had A.J. Brown. He had the Eagles defense. I was down before tonight's game. And that last touchdown to Cooper Kupp dropped down the Eagles defense from 10 to 9. and I barely won by half of a point, bro. I was so freaking psyched, bro.
Yeah, nice job. Yeah, I mean, Debo was the smarter play, I think. Hindsight's 2020. Debo looked like crap. Shanahan doesn't use him right. It was an awful game. The game script was horrible, but like Debo was a consensus in the chat vote when we did it. It's easy to say so now. And like even next week, bro, I don't know that I'm gonna say Pop Douglas over Debo still. I don't know. Pop Douglas is somebody that, his last 3 games, 4 receptions, 5 receptions, and his yardage was 50, 59, and 62. Yeah. Like, I'm still going to bank on the upside, honestly, if it's me. But that's me.
Yeah, in that league, I have Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Debo, Puka, and Pop Douglas. I don't know, man. I am first or second place in that league, but I mean, I could go down quickly if these receivers don't do well.
Yeah.
In the back stretch.
All right, my boy. Appreciate you.
All right, man. I just want to say hello. I'm listening to the show. I love you, man. You're awesome. You're doing great work. I'm out here cleaning cars on my second job, and you have a good night.
Nice. All right, thanks, pal. Appreciate you. Later. This is from Tyler. Says, is Otters is Otters now droppable for Disley? I would probably say, I don't know, like after one game, are we just going to act like Otten's, droppable? I don't know.
No, they ran a ton today,
yeah,
too. They didn't really have to throw it around.
Disley's good, but Otters, a.k.a. Otten, is probably still the better player. And keep in mind that, like, Godwin's still out. There's still a lot of ability to throw the ball to Otten. He's not going to get Gesicki'd, so I'm going to go ahead and say no. But, Tyler, it's an interesting question, but and it's not like one you're crazy for acting on. But picked up Bucky and Bo off waivers, started Kyren, Kenneth Walker, and Bo. Nice job. Had JD5 and Bucky on the bench. I'm sorry to hear that. Lost by 24. Full PPR. Start Bucky going forward, ? Have Evans, AJ Brown, Terry, St. Brown, BT, Eckler, Devontae Smith, and Kyler. I mean, it's going to be matchup based, but yeah, for the most part, I mean, Bucky's better than Kenneth Walker right now. I mean, you got to use Kyren and Bucky. So yeah, absolutely. And then we'll play it by ear, based on how he does this week. But, I mean, he plays Carolina. So get Bucky in your lineup and do it live. Let's go to Matt, and then I'll go over to Sebastian. Matt, you're live.
Sweet, Smitty. I'm calling back in about a trade offer that I had brought up to you earlier. The original offer was going to be Puka and Mooney straight up for Chase. But I'm a little torn if it's good for because I'm in a double flex league, so I can start 2 guys. Do you want to hear my receiving core? I won't give you my whole team. I know you don't like that.
The only thing I need is who would you start if you didn't have Mooney and you had to pull somebody else into the lineup? Who would those options be? That's all I need.
Well, I'd have Tracy Jr., Jennings, or Khalil Shakir right now are the 3 guys that I'd probably put in that extra flex spot.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. I'm guessing here. I think Purdy's probably not done for the year. We could be totally lied to by Shanahan, though. So if Purdy comes back, Jennings is viable. Very viable. So if we bank on Purdy returning, and especially if he's, at least here for the playoffs, this Jamar Chase side and Jennings crushes Mooney and Puka, in my opinion. I like Puka a lot, but this is he doesn't score touchdowns like Chase. Chase gets yardage just like him. Chase is literally the 1, 2, 3, 4 overall player. Puka's awesome. Puka's a borderline first, second round turn player, just like he was on draft day. That's where he's scoring. That's where he is. Jennings and Mooney are not so far apart that I'm making this trade at all.
Okay. Even with Mooney's earlier production this year.
Well, I know all. I know all that in my head. I got it all there. Oh, now that you say it, Matt.
No, I hear you, man. I appreciate it.
Take a big
All right, I appreciate you, Matt. Thank you, Matty boy. We'll talk to you later, pal. Thanks, Matt. I love when people tell me, like, hey, Smitty, does it matter if this is a must-win? Hey, Smitty, does it matter that I want to win this game? Hey, Smitty, keep in mind that Bijan's on a bye. Sebastian, you're live.
What's going on, Smitty? I wanted to give you your flowers because I know how high you were on Saquon since April, May, whenever they signed him. You were like convicted, like you presented it with conviction that he was going to be, or that he could be this good, and I didn't doubt it at all, and I just want to say thank you, just for being that confident and standing by it the whole time. Because look where we're at now. One thing I did want to bring up was this is coming from someone who has Kyron as their highest drafted running back.
Touching words. First of all, touching words, Sebastian. I appreciate that. Okay, go ahead. What else can I help you with?
Yeah, I do have some legitimate concerns that I would like to present to you. I do think there are volume concerns, not the name Kyron Williams, but the Rams running back. Between both of them, they have both had one target in the last 2 weeks. That's extremely concerning for me because, they had a pass in both those games. I think Kyron, he definitely could pick it back up against the Saints. And he's a tough guy. I definitely do see him bouncing back. But, over the last month, averaging right at 10 points per game, it's a couple weeks in a row, man. And that passing volume underlying, that is adding a bit of concern. Am I going on a limb to be concerned about that? Because
he's got 11 touchdowns. He's got 11 touchdowns. What do you want from him? If he's struggling in certain areas, he's not in the other. And then you go to somebody that has targets, then they don't have the touchdowns. I get what you're saying, but I'm not scared at all, and I'm buying and I'm all in. Just like I wasn't scared about Gibbs, just like I'm not scared about when Barkley had 20 yards, in a game. Look, these things happen. And the Rams are kind of in some sort of tailspin right now, which is, concerning. And am I worried to a degree? Could he get overworked and injured? Or are they going to... I don't know. Let me ask you this. Weren't you worried about Kyron when both wide receivers were down? And then he did really well.
A little bit. I thought
and they leaned on
an extra hit here, an extra hit there, loaded boxes.
And they leaned on him.
Yeah.
And they leaned on. So you just can't. You don't know. Plus, bro, what are you gonna do? Trade him? Because apparently there's panic everywhere.
I can't. That'd be
okay.
Stupid.
So what are we doing here? We're just voicing. Are you just wanting to voice the concern? And there's nothing I can do about the fact that he's not getting the targets right now. All I can tell you is that they had thrown to him a lot. They planned all offseason to run him out of the slot and move him all over the field, get him and Corum on the field at the same time. Game scripts have been weird. Puka coming back, Kupp coming back has definitely almost affected the flow of everything in a weird way. But they still are a high octane offense that I believe is going to continue to feed this man, and what he doesn't get in targets, he will make up in sheer volume and touchdown opportunity. So, I wasn't worried about it when Kupp and Puka were down, I'm not worried about it now. And for him to come out of this game with a 74 yards, 76 yards, 76 yards and a touchdown, and really should have had another two touchdowns. You should have had 3 touchdowns in this game. When you really break it down, that first drive, you should have went in. They were on the 3 yard or 2 yard line, or 2 or 1 yard line, and they threw it to Was it DeMarcus Robinson? I think it's DeMarcus Robinson. Like, bro, like he easily could have had 3 touchdowns in this game. And would you be in here saying he didn't get any targets, Smitty? You'd be like, Kyron's got 3 tutties today.
Oh no, he would be like he scored and he's the man. Absolutely.
All right, so not worried. Not worried.
Absolutely.
I mean, could disaster happen for him? Sure. That's why. I mean, there's a reason I've been plugging this cuff board all offseason. Very concerned that something could, happen. So that's why quorum's a must. But I'm all in, baby. All right, Sebastian. Anything else?
Start Chase Brown over him. Because I mean, I got Nico, JSN, and Mike Evans as my wide receiver flex, and I got Gibbs as my RB1. Can I start Chase Brown over him this week?
No, you're starting Chase Brown over JSN.
Oh, wait.
What are you doing?
JSN,
This is the conversation I'm talking about, where people are trying to have a conversation about Kyren Williams and a flex. Kyron's not your flex. Stop.
Smitty, JSN's had 38 points, 23 points, and 20 points over the last 3 weeks. Am I sitting my hot hat?
I'm not sitting Kyren Williams. You want to I'm not sitting Kyren Williams. Especially the way that Seattle, in my opinion, operates. I love what JSN's doing, but I'm not sitting Kyren Williams for him. You want to talk about Chase Brown and JSN? We can have that debate, and it's a tough debate, but I'm not sitting Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams is not in the flex conversation. JSN is a fantastic flex, bro. Unbelievable, but he's not unseating my number 1 running back that you drafted in. Well, you drafted him in the second round, but you got a steal in the second round. His cost of entry, the risk was all baked in. He's been one of the bigger steals, regardless of what anybody wants to say. All right.
Yeah, no, I'm not sitting Gibbs.
Okay. I wouldn't either. Of course not. What, come on, bro. All right, see you later.
All right, dude.
Jeez. Alvi from Hawaii.
Hey, Smitty, what's up?
What's up, Alvi?
You have my name. From Hawaii.
Yeah, where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Hawaii, but I'm originally from Chicago.
Okay.
And I had a question.
Okay.
If you were the GM, what would you do? Because we're cooked. Caleb is not him. And I've been saying JD5's been in, and all my Chicago people are finally seeing what you've been saying.
Are they? Because it seems like he's getting glazed today than he's been glazed all year, bro. It seems like the Caleb believers are out for blood today. They're like, oh, you see how good he looked? 300 yards. This is the best Caleb. I can't tell you how many Instagram and Twitter posts I see from like bear-geared pages that are like, Caleb, showing a picture of Caleb, like quickest rookie Bears quarterback to X number of yards, and he's flexing. They're like, what a big step today.
Something special.
What a big step today.
It's glazing, like you said. But what would you do, though? Like, how would you turn this around? Because we're a joke. We are literally a joke. I can't do it anymore,
I mean, to be honest, like, you're going to leave Ryan Poles in pole position to continue to be the shot caller, bro. Like, whoa. How is he going to fix this? He's the one that created it all. He's the one that chose Caleb instead of JD5, instead of Bo Nix. All the QBs I said were better than Caleb Williams. Passed on Stroud, traded the pick away. And you could make fun of Stroud right now, but Stroud's still very promising. This is a guy that put in Shane Waldron. He put in Shane Waldron. He's the one that thought it was a wise idea to not bring in Kingsbury, who was Caleb's QB coach at USC that very year. Like, this is the closest person to Caleb. Let's make Caleb feel comfortable. Teams will draft Jamar Chase for Joe Burrow. They'll draft Franklin for Bo Nix, even though he doesn't necessarily need him. Teams are doing this all the time now. You could have brought in Cliff Kingsbury, who is an air raid specialist. 3-4 wide receiver sets. What did you do in the offseason as a Chicago Bear team? You brought in 3 wide receivers. Who's Shane Waldron? He's a 2 wide receiver constructor. This guy constructs offenses with 2 wide receivers. So you ask me, what do? You fire Ryan Poles, and you get a competent GM that can turn this around from the ground level. Otherwise, guess what Poles is going to do? Pick the wrong people, and you think you have a problem at the coaching level? You do. You think you have a problem at the quarterback level? You might. He's okay. But this starts at the core, at the root. The root of the problem. The root of the problem is Ryan Poles.
Caleb needs the right coach, too, when, like you said, Poles won't do that. He needs a certain situation.
They're saying that Kingsbury may come over as potentially he could be the head coach of the Bears next season. That's the rumor. I don't know that it fixes everything, but it's certainly a step in the right direction. But the problem is Poles has made bad decisions from the top down and then hands the coach the job. The reason Kingsbury was sent packing, remember, I don't know if you remember the show that I did during the coaching carousel shows that we did when they were flipping around all over the place. I said, why did they just interview Kingsbury like in a very, very short, like dotting their I's, crossing their T's, and then just discarded them? They didn't do a second interview. They just did a real brief interview just to like cover their bases, and they moved on immediately. And I was like, why? Why would you do that? The rationale, word on the street, is that Kingsbury's such a force. He's just a big personality that Eberflus was intimidated by him and didn't want him in the building. So instead of Ryan Poles, your garbage GM Ryan Poles, instead of being a man and saying let's hire this guy, I don't care what you want, he let Eberflus just flus his way out of it. So now Eberflus, who it's just ridiculous. Eberflus is horrible. In the fact that like the announcers during the game were like, who was the announcer during the game? Was it what's his face? It was what's his name?
I couldn't even watch it today. I just watched on the
your box score, Bobby.
I couldn't even watch it.
You were box score Bobbying it. That's right.
Just for the Bears. Just for the Bears.
Oh, but who was the announcer? It was what's his face? The guy that loves Mahomes, wasn't it? Wasn't that who was?
Collinsworth.
Was it Collinsworth? Can anybody confirm Collinsworth was the play-by-play or one of the announcers during the game? Am I misremembering? But they were glazing him, and I remember hearing, if it wasn't Collinsworth, it was somebody that reminds me of Collinsworth. They said something to the tune of like, and just to think that Eberflus his job was he's kind of on the hot seat, and like Caleb was like just driving down the field like having one pretty decent series, and they're like, and now look at him, this is where the magic comes out. Let's see if he can pull this off, as if he had some sort of.
They say that every week.
Yeah, I forget who it was.
They say that the same thing.
Yeah, like, oh, here he goes. Maybe this is that's what we've been waiting for. Like, this is the magic. Maybe he'll pull the magic out of the bag right here. Yeah, Caleb's next 3 games, is this correct? Detroit, San Francisco, Minnesota. He's going to get eaten up alive.
Thanksgiving game with Detroit. Yeah.
I'm ready to consume Caleb Williams. Is what the schedule says. Yeah, that's Chicago at Detroit.
Yep.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah. And I look, and like I said before, I'm not a kind of person. I know I come off. This is why I need to call like a psychiatrist and do like a live on the show live stream like session with them and be like, can you work on me with my resting face and my I don't know, my candor, my bedside manner. And I really don't wish ill will upon anybody. I said this on the other show. I don't want Caleb to fail. Like, even though it seems like that's what I'm saying, my objective and job is to let you guys know whether I'm right or wrong, and I'm obviously wrong a lot too. Like, I'm not sitting here going, I get everything right. I could be very wrong. I was wrong on Joe Mixon. That's probably my biggest miss this year was thinking Joe Mixon wasn't going to succeed and he was going to get hurt and all that. I'll tell you right now, that's my biggest miss. But I adapted pretty quickly. That's one of my superpowers is I adjust and adapt. I don't care that I missed it in the offseason. I care about how quickly I recognize it. But even though you think I'm rooting against Caleb, everyone thinks I'm a Caleb hater. I'm just telling you, I want you to know what I think is going to happen. He's going to fail. He's going to be bad. He doesn't have the personality type. These are my analysis, types of whatever. I'm not trying to say I wish him to fail. I want him to fail. And I don't even sit here and go, I hope he fails. The only thing if you want to say, Smitty, you kind of are rooting against it, it would be that I want Eberflus gone. I want Poles gone. I'm not wanting them to fail. I want the organization to succeed. I hope they go on to coach high school and become the best high school coach ever. Or the best district, whatever. Like, I hope they have successful lives and stuff. But anyway.
Yeah, well, Walter's done his way there already, so.
All right, got to go, Albie. All right, later, Albie. Over to another Hawaii boy, Scotty Dew. Scotty Dew in Hawaii. He's calling back, Scotty, and then I got to go over to Marco.
Hey, Smitty.
Yeah.
Hey, just one quick request, man. I'm with my coworker right now. He does a little bit of fantasy football. I want you to show him the animations for the A-Chan and the Kyron, and then take a big lap, bro. Can you do that for me?
Can I do it at the end of the show? Because you're asking me to lose a bunch of viewers by playing a musical session for you. All right. Later, Scotty. Appreciate you. All right, Marco, you're live. 30 seconds. Scotty Dew took some of your time. Go ahead.
Oh. Hey, Smitty, I got just. Would you still go through with the Hubbard for Chase Brown, given the day that Hubbard had against Kansas City?
Would I still go Chase Brown over who?
Yeah, over Hubbard.
I mean, I think Chase Brown plays Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
but I mean, for the rest of the season, I'm doing a trade with somebody.
Okay, you're just saying Chuba. Okay. I thought you said something about.
They want my.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I called about it. I think yesterday about it. You said go ahead and go for it. And then Chuba had a decent day today against Kansas City, which has a pretty good defense.
Okay, so the question is Chase Brown or Chuba Hubbard? Is that the question?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
My Chuba for Chase Brown.
Yeah, I'd rather Chase Brown. I mean, Chase Brown's been doing it, bro. He's blowing up. I think Chuba is a commendable, parallel, if you will, in some ways. Like they're very, very good. But you do have a little bit of a switch up coming in here. You got Brooks. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that. I think that Chase Brown's a running back one right now. Chuba, I don't know that I call him a running back one. I call him a very good potential running back two going forward that has a little bit of cloudiness to his situation. But Chase Brown's like on a whole nother level right now. So it's going to be Chase Brown for me.
Coming into the week in full PPR, Chase Brown was ranked 13th, Chuba was ranked 12th. But take into consideration, it took Chase Brown a few weeks to get those carries and everything. So, he's a hot hand. He gets the passing work. He's on the better team. So, Chase Brown clears that hurdle.
He's also been.
I feel like he has more to play for too.
He's also been running back 4, running back 3, and running back 9 in back-to-back weeks, which is really nice. And then he had a 3-game stretch in the 20s. But then the 2 games prior to that, running back 6 and running back 11. So he's been really, really good. Yeah. But
Burrow's cooking now.
Yeah, and
go for it then.
The other thing too is Chase Brown's targets. This is probably the most important stat. His targets the last 3 games: 5, 11, and 7. That's huge.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
All right, bro. Later, Marco.
All right, thanks.
All right, Travis, any final thoughts?
Yeah, just real quick. So coming up next week, I have or 2 weeks from now on the bye, I'm going to need a quarterback. Would you rather drop Odunze or Jonathan Brooks? And the context is I have Chuba Hubbard. If I'm okay at wide receiver, would you say drop Odunze?
Let's see here. He only had 2 carries today. He didn't even use them, man. He had 3.5 yards per carry. Like, the weird thing is, like, I remember Canales said, like, he's for sure gonna play. We're definitely playing. Give him two carries or whatever.
So,
I don't understand that.
I guess maybe the easier way to look at it is the running backs I have: Saquon, Chase Brown, Chuba, Ramondre, and Brooks. So, would you rather drop Brooks or Dunze?
Probably a Dunze, because the schedule is awful for the Bears. B, what's a Dunze even? Like, he's not even on the map right now. He's not even, like, fine tuned at all and, like, ready to go. Like, he's just absolutely behind.
He's getting the targets. That's the only reason why. He has 10 targets each of the last 2 weeks, so I wasn't sure, like.
That's true. Damn, 10 targets.
Will they be throwing from behind? I don't have to decide until waivers run, in a couple of days. I'm just starting to think about this now.
Jeez, man, that is a lot. 10 targets in back-to-back games, but like not a lot to show for it.
Maybe tomorrow or Tuesday, if we have a chance, could I do a whiteboard with you? Like at night or something?
Yeah,
I kind of want to do that anyway.
All right.
So all right, I'll revisit that.
Yeah, I'd probably say I keep a Dunze at this point. Now looking at the target share, but we'll get into that later in the week too. All right, later, Travis.
Thanks. Bye.
I'm shocked at the targets that Dunze had, actually. Skyward, or actually, I'm sorry, Capper. Sorry about the wait. How's Bauer's outlook with Ritter? I don't know, man. Ritter's awful. Let's see here. Jeez. What did he do today? 10 targets still. I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe he's not the consensus one the rest of the season, but clearly this doesn't affect his 2025 value. O'Connell still could come back. It looks like they're not sure he'll be off IR. So yeah, Ritter for one day, for one game could be in there. I don't know. Let's attack that as we got more concrete information on O'Connell and everything before we get into that. But it definitely takes a hit, but I think he's still going to get fed. Definitely crazy. Okay. Thoughts on Ertz rest of season? I like Ertz. I think that you definitely got, a tight end that's going to continue to get fed as long as he stays healthy, which has always been Ertz's problem, right? But we only have, 5 weeks left? Week 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, so 5 weeks left. And at this point, he's been getting 8, 7, and 8 targets. That's really solid. Back-to-back weeks with touchdowns. Can't consider injury at all right now. You just got to roll with it. My volume's low? I don't think my volume's low, bro. My volume is low. I don't see it low. I'll turn it up a tad, but... Ertz volume is low, or my volume was low? Both? Ertz has been getting targets, bro. So, I don't know about Ertz being low. Someone said my volume went down. How about now? Is this better? Is this too loud? Is this good? We good to go? I think when I was doing this, bro, I was just away from the mic for a second. I don't think anything happened to the volume of the show. I think I was just talking as I was looking over. Okay, thoughts on Ertz rest of season? My final evaluation of that is top 8 to 12 potential, and the touchdowns are there. I don't think it's manufactured. I don't think it's fabricated. I don't know what you mean by that. I think he's a big part of this offense. I look back and I see 3 TDs on the year. I see very good, consistent usage in the last 2 weeks. I see a cluster of 3 very good games with one game in between of poor usage, which was probably game script. That was the New York Giants, so they that was a weird game. But he had very consistent play 3 weeks in a row before that. So the last 7 games, only 1 game has really been bad. So I don't mind him at all. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for joining me for all 3 live streams today. Sunday is very busy. We have the morning show, the kickoff show. We have the afternoon wrap-up show before the Sunday night game. And then we do the Waiver Wire show live and the reaction show to that game. The Barkley celebration show, 302 yards and 2 touchdowns. Week 13 Waiver Wire. Screenshot that, pause that if you need the list. We did that live. We organized it live. Appreciate you all. And on that note, we're out of here. I'll be back tomorrow. I imagine for a midday stream of some kind. And then there'll be some news or something. Or we'll do a premiere. And then I'll, of course, be back at the 8 p.m. show because we're live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the phone calls. And we'll see you tomorrow. I'll end it on the Kyron, Achan, and I think he said Hall. But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10.
He's Kyron. He's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyron, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
Achan. Achan is the man. His haters call him small.
But he is 9 feet tall.
Take a lap. Don't come back. You're a Kyron hater. You're an HN instigator. Your mama never taught you how to be anything but AC Slater. And even if you want to pretend you like Kyron Williams now, he's never going to love you back, so he won't turn no frowns upside down. Maybe you never had a papa, and that's okay, because I could be your daddy. Your mama never minded, so let's just be a big family. Kyron, HN, Bijan, Chase Brown. Look, there's another touchdown. If I'm going to be your papa, you better get going. Take your lap and run it hard. And throw a little wave as you run down Smitty Boulevard.
Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a big lap. Take one and you don't come back. Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a big lap. Take one and you don't come back. Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a big lap. Take one and you don't come back.